Right, we're ready to put our roof on our house now, and you should have worked through the roofing exercises to look at the four different types of roofs that we could use on this house, and I'm leaving it up to you which style of roofing that you put on your house design. You might want to try a couple of different ones because you can always just go back and take that out, delete it, and try another one. So up to you, and it's not that time consuming. The first thing I want to do though is I want to make sure that if we just have a look at the front of the house, where the front door is, I want to have a little porch here so that it's covered, keeping the rain off the front door. So I'm going to put in that porch now, so before we start putting our roof on, because it means that we need a post up there to hold or support the roof that's going to come over this section here. Go back to ground floor, zoom in on that front porch area. You have your control joints in here from before, so I'm going to run it from that control joint over to this corner here. So we just want to put a floor in, and instead of picking the 100mm concrete slab, remember we had one in here called 100mm slab tiles. I'm going to use that one. That'll give us a nice tiled effect on the house. And I'm going to now come up to my tools, pick rectangle, snap to that corner and drag it over to that corner there. Just make sure you are on ground level because we want it to be level with their floor in the house. When you think you've got that right, just click on that and then we can just go in and check, have a look at that. It's floating up there in the middle of space at the moment, but when we put some topography in, some ground in, that will actually be level with the ground. So don't worry about that at this stage. The next thing we need to put in to support our roof is a column. And there's lots of different columns that we can use, but we're just going to use a simple square timber column on this, just in from this corner here. You'll notice up in your architecture you have a list of columns. If we click on that one, I'll just go back on that one because you may look and there's architectural and structural. Let's go for the structural column. We've only got a couple in there, a round one and a square one, so I'm just picking the square one. And I'm going to zoom right in on that corner. I just want that just in a little bit. It's not actually giving me any measurements. I could get quite technical with that, but I'm not going to. In fact, I will put it right on the corner, I think. Now it brings a little message up down here saying it can't see any of those things, so that's fine. When you come out of this you'll see what I mean. If we just close that off and don't click it again and just hit escape a couple of times and come out and look at the 3D view, and you can see on the corner there you've got just this little tiny shape here. So if we click on that, we can come in now and you'll see that that base level is top of footings. We want it actually at ground level, and we want the top level at top of plate. And there's our post gone in up there. Now put it right on the corner there because we'll be bringing the roof across on this line here, and if that was back a little bit that would be crooked, that roof there. We don't want that to happen. In fact, if you go back into your ground floor, you should be able to just move that around so that you can get it right. Just use your down arrow key to get that right on the edge there. I'm just using the keyboard arrow keys to get that right on the edge there, and now we have our post in place, and you can see the tile floors showing there as well. Okay, so we're ready to put our roof on, and this is probably the easiest thing to do. I'm going to come into top plate A, and not sure why that one's showing up quite thick like that, but we'll see how we go with it. And we want to put a roof in, so we'll come up into architecture and roof, and I'm going to pick this basic roof, wood rafter, 8-inch asphalt shingles insulated. So we'll have a look at roofs a bit later on or during lesson to show you how you can make your own roofs up, but at this stage we're just going to use this one that is available for us. Make sure you put the base level at top plate A, otherwise you'll have the roof down on the ground floor. You will be able to move it up if that happens. Don't worry too much about that if that occurs. You notice we've got our same sort of modifying or creating box up here with our cross and tick, and I'm going to come in and use straight line because I want to go round this. if I follow the walls, I could follow it, but I want to come out to this point here. So I'm going to use straight walls. I'm going to give it an offset of 300, which means there'll be 300 out from the wall. Remember to put that in after you've selected the line. You can put it in before, but put it in after. Leave define slope on, leave chain on, and starting from this corner here, I'm going to work my way around the house, just clicking on the corners of the house. And this one here, I'm going to click on the corner of the post. Come back to my control joint there, and go up to this point here. Now I'm going to come in and make a little gap here so the sun can shine into that door on that side. And again there, and up to my final point. Double hit escape a couple of times to come out of that. Just check that that's all nice and straight. Now it needs to be parallel to your walls. If it's not looking like that, then you've got some problems. If you think it's okay, give it a tick. You can see that when we're in top plate, we're getting that roof cut off like we saw in the exercises. So what I suggest you do, you just come into top plate. Don't want to be in that floor plan, and just come down and edit that view range. So just put the top up, maybe let's try 3000. We might not be in the right one here. We'll try that 3000 on that one as well. And there we go. So we can OK that. When we come back to ground floor, obviously that roof will disappear. You won't see that roof in because our cut plane is lower. So there's our roof, a hip roof in. But if I look at it, I've got this weird thing happening here with all these slopes, and it dips down, and that doesn't look very good at all. You could leave it like that, but it looks a bit funny. So what I want it to do is come straight across here and just go around that area there. Now from your exercises you should know how to fix that up, but I'll just go through it again. Just come into top of plate, I'll select the roof, and I want to edit the footprint, and I want to take these define slopes off of this one. So I'm just going to highlight all of those using my control key and come over into where it says define roof slope and untick that. They all disappear. Like it, tick the click again and come up and have a look, and you can see now that we've got that. We will, however, have to raise our walls up. So I'm just going to select that wall, hold the control key down, select that wall. I can't reach the other one at the moment. Attach and attach to the roof. So those two have gone up. Swing it around and just do this last one on this side. Attach. Select the roof, and up it goes. And now we have that nice little courtyard effect there that we might we'll put some rafters on across here later on. And we also have our post holding that veranda section up here. You can see how our hip has come across there, so it looks nice and neat. Okay, so have a go. Remember, you can use any roof type that you would like, but remember we do want to have some sort of little porch around here. I'll leave it up to you to experiment with that, to try some different things out. If it's not working for you, come back and use the hip one, but I'd certainly like to see some different ones from everybody.